All right. Welcome back to Currency 365 on Eyes Open Media. So I hope you guys are doing well. We're gonna go over the map. I told you guys that in a couple of days, when the left coast connector is completed, we will come. I will come back and I'll post this on Eyes Open Media and tell you guys about it. And we're gonna get the update. So let's look at the map, the updated map here. And remember, this is the Iraqi forces map. Okay, it's not the United States special forces or Marines map. It's not the Peshmerga's map. It's nobody else's map. It's the Iraqi forces map. Okay, so it's going to be look a lot different. If we were looking at the American map, this will probably be all green, and this will probably be 3/4 green, and this part will probably be the only part that's open. Okay, and that's the right coast connector, um, and everything else will probably be green. If I'm looking at the Peshmerga map, this probably will be all green. This will probably be all green, and this will probably be the only part that's white, right up down here. Okay, so it all depends on what map you're looking at. Some people's map is completed. Some people's map is like this, and some people's map is different. Okay, so it all depends on the map. Okay, so as you guys can see here, Eastern Mosul is all liberated, okay, and then South Mosul is liberated as well. Now you do have this Southwest Mosul that needs to be liberated, but Southeast and the southern part of Mosul is liberated. And then if you come into the West Coast, the Western Mosul, then this is going to be considered Southwest Mosul, okay. And so this needs to be liberated down here. This is Southwest Mosul, okay. But Southeast Mosul and south of Mosul is liberated, and then we're about to liberate the north, all of the north of Mosul. Okay, so we got the news, and then of course the left coast connector and everything, part of it got liberated. All of this got liberated very quickly. In the last, let's say 3 weeks, last 3 weeks, things have started to go quickly. Why? Because the Americans have already came through all of this. The Americans came through all of this. We already know that. We sent the Americans in. We sent the American troops in, and the internet and the British troops in, and the international forces. They went in and they liberated all of this stuff already. Well, basically they clashed with ISIS and all of this stuff, and then the Peshmerga forces liberated a whole bunch of land that is not even being shown on here. Like, they liberated a whole bunch of areas, okay, and that's not being shown on here either. Okay, so this is just the Iraqi map. Okay, so the Peshmergas are completed their job because they liberated. This whole thing is liberated. If you ask the Peshmerga forces, it's all liberated. But we're looking at the Iraqi forces map, so it's going to be different. Okay, so what the Iraqi forces are doing is, as you can see by the articles, they're editing. Okay, yeah, they might say, "Oh, we got some clashes here with people." It could be citizens. We call them. They're calling them Daesh and ISIS, but it could be just bad citizens. It could be people that are just citizens that hate the army or military or hate cops, or might be in gangs and mafias, and they're just don't want the military to be there, and they're clashing, and they're calling them Daesh and ISIS. Okay, just to deceive people. We saw that in Fallujah, right? So when I pointed that out, and then we saw the articles that that's what exactly was going on, and then people on Twitter were telling me as well, "Hey man, they're fighting the citizens." So it could be the same thing going on here. Okay. So, and why did they able to get these things so fast? Because they're editing. They're not really fighting. There is pocket holes where they're fighting Daesh and ISIS in areas, or fighting civilians. Okay, but other than that, they can move through this fast because they're editing. Okay, they're going through, looking for bombs and looking for IEDs, and all types of stuff. The work has already been done by the Americans and the international coalition. That we already went through Mosul. We got articles from December 2015 talking about entering Mosul and fighting in Mosul, right? So, and that's from the mainstream media articles. So we already know that Mosul's already been through by the Americans. The Americans came in through, went through this whole thing. Peshmergas came through with, and British forces came through. Turkish forces came through. Russian, Brit, and Chinese forces. like this thing has been liberated like 900 times, right? So we know that. So what they're doing is the Iraqi forces are saying, okay, everybody's done. Now we can go in there, take a lot of pictures, which they're doing. As you can see here, they're taking a lot of nice pictures, and and if civilians get out of hand, they call them Daesh and ISIS, and and they say we just fought ISIS and Daesh in this area, and really it's just maybe some bad apple civilians. Okay, so they're gonna continue to pretend to push through here and take up here, even though Peshmergas have already cleared this area with the Turkish troops in the Americans, because I already showed you the Americans are right up in here already. You know what I mean? Thousands of them. So we already know this area is clean. But because Iraqi forces have to get the credit, they're not gonna. They don't care about none of that. So they're gonna come in here and they're gonna edit this, and they're gonna come up here and edit. As you see here, 7 p.m. It says 7 p.m. Baghdad time. Okay, so now let me see what time is it in Baghdad. It's actually 12 a.m. So it's actually Thursday, right, Thursday, January 19th in Baghdad, Iraq right now. Okay, so this map will be updated, tomorrow. So we'll check. Actually, we'll be updated tonight, but I'm not gonna do a video on it with you guys. So you guys will see it tomorrow on Facebook 365 for those who follow my Currency 365 page, and then of course you'll see it in the report. Um, Okay, so once they did call the commanders did call the eastern part of Mosul finally fully liberated. Okay, and then of course the south as well. Abadi said the same thing. Well, Abadi was like, not really, not. Yeah, we still a little bit, and then all of a sudden they finished this and it was done. Okay, and then so now we just have the north here, which as you guys can see, we're clearing it, we're editing it really easily. It's not even there's nothing to really edit. That's why. Okay, so this is being edited very easily. So it's Wednesday. By Thursday we should be up here, and then Friday we should be here. Saturday we should be here. Sunday we should be done. Okay, so let's see if we can get this all done by Sunday. There's nothing there to edit. We should just move through this. But if they want to pretend like there's stuff there, then it'll go a little bit longer. We might go to next Wednesday. Okay, so by next Wednesday we should definitely have all of northern Mosul. This will be done, and then we'll be right in here. We're already clashing, in according to Yahoo News, Abadi statements that we're already going through western Mosul. But you can see here, nothing. There's no clashes being signed or anything like that. So everything is just staying on this side. We are actually clashing in this side according to Abadi, and of course the troops. Thousands of Americans and British troops were dropped off here in December, so and way early before that as well. And so we should see some lots of orange here, but of course we don't, because this is just what the Iraqi troops are doing, nobody else. Okay, so just get that in your head. This is what the Iraqi troops are doing, nobody else. Okay, Mosul's been done 3 or 4 times already, but we're gonna allow the Iraqi forces to pretend to do what they have to do, and then take their time, whatever. Hopefully they don't take too long. By next Wednesday, this will be all completed. This will be all completed. This whole side will be completed by next Wednesday, and then we will get into here, and then let's see how long they can get this whole thing done. Maybe another 3 weeks for this whole thing right here. All depends on how fast they move, ladies and gentlemen. All depends on how fast they move. They could move slow, they could move fast. We don't know how fast the Iraqi forces are going to move. Okay, so let's go here. But at least they are moving, and we can see that it's almost over. Iraq is almost fully liberated from ISIS and Daesh, and we only have a few more weeks to go. So that's pretty good. We can see the end. We can, the main point about an investment is the end, right? Is knowing that you can see an end to your investment, and we can see it. We can see the end. We can finally see the end of the light. For a full liberation and returning to the international stage. Okay, and then of course you got Reuters. saying that the Iraqi Special Forces chief says mission accomplished in East Mosul. All right, so now we just need them to say North Mosul and West Mosul. 2 more to go, and that's it. We're done. Um, and let's see here. Urgent. Abadi congratulate. I mean, Biden congratulates Abadi through telephone on the Mosul victories. Okay, so even President Biden, I mean, even Vice President Biden is getting into this, and we want to, now, of course, Vice President Biden won't be there when we to congratulate him on the West Coast and North Coast. It will be Trump and Pence, right? So Trump and Pence will be congratulating him, body on the North and the West Coast, right? Because in a couple of days here, we're gonna have a new president. Okay, so let's go over here. I still have some time here. Okay. There's another article about Abadi and Biden. It says Abadi confirms Biden's telephone call. Iraq designed to complete victory and go for reconstruction. Now, why is that reconstruction in that title? That's very important because really Mosul is has been flatlined, been bombed to crazy. Why? For reconstruction. I mean, that's one of the main things is why they're dropping thousands of bombs in Iraq. It's for reconstruction. Because how are they going to get that currency up to the points that people are talking about? By reconstruction, right? By commerce, by driving the whole world into Iraq. That's how they're going to get that currency up, right? So that's how they add value to the currency is by reconstruction, and commerce, okay, and infrastructure. How you do that? You bring in the world. So a body saying that once the completion of the victories of Mosul, then reconstruction begins, right? And everybody's gonna pour in to reconstruct and bring commerce and bring infrastructure to Iraq. And that's what's going to explode their economy, explode their currency, explode the workforce, and create massive amounts of jobs and wealth for the country. Reconstruction, commerce, and infrastructure. That's what's going to bring the wealth. Okay, so that's very key important that he's even saying it here that after the complete victories, reconstruction. Because if he's not saying that, then we're in a big trouble. Because that means that after the battle, they're just gonna let this place just rot, right? And they're not gonna create jobs. They're not gonna bring the world in. No, you see, they're saying that once the victories, reconstruction begins, and that's what we want to see. We want to see that. Okay, they want to bring in the world, and the world will come in to restore and build up a big building. It's gonna look like Dubai. It's gonna look like like Kuwait. When Kuwait didn't had the world had their reconstruction and their currency went to 3+. It's gonna look like that. It's gonna look like Dubai and Kuwait with massive buildings. You know what I mean? Skyscrapers and things of that nature. Okay, it's gonna look awesome. And when it's all finished, said and done. And of course, you're gonna have embassies from all countries around the world. They're gonna have their beautiful embassies in Iraq. All types of just visitors coming in, traveling in around the world to see the new Iraq. Okay. And let's see here. New standards to deal with the banks. The central bank achieves transparency and disclosure. Okay, so I'm going to allow you guys to read this on 365 page. I will post it there underneath this video. I will post this video on 365. And I will post the articles as well for you guys to read this news. Okay, so new monetary policies, man, from the central bank. This doesn't get any better than that. Doesn't get any more clear than that. And it also says here, construction of foreign cash reserves in accordance with the international standards. Oh man. And the calculation of the cash reserve to cover the dinar. Wow. There you go. You know what I mean? International standards and a calculation to cover the cash reserves to cover the dinar. Why do you have to cover the dinar? Because it's going to have a new value. And you have to be able to cover that value with your reserves. That means your gold, your silver, your bitcoins, your dollars, your you know what I mean, whatever other foreign currencies and your reserves that you have to need to be able to cover that price. Bingo. Okay, so talk to you guys later. Eyes open. Enjoy the day. Peace out. Bye.